Okay, looks like we're live. Right on. Welcome to the Anyone Can Farm live chat, Tuesday night edition. I'm Mark, your host, coming from Baker's Green Acres. Today's the 5th of July, 2022. Okay, hope everybody had a good 4th. I planned to go to the 4th of July festivities over in Falmouth, and then the forecast said it was going to rain. It's going to rain. But we all decided we're going. And so we did. We saddled up with what we needed. We even took a big umbrella from that you use at the beach and took that with us. And there was very few people in Falmouth. I mean, they put on a really, really nice display for just a few of us. Yeah, felt kind of bad. But, I don't think it really matters because there was only one store open in town, and it was the party store. Sad commentary. That was the only store that was open. Actually, that's other than Evil's, that's about the only store that's there. So it's pretty nice that they did that. And the other fireworks that was going on was in Lake City, but that happened Saturday night. So we didn't go to that. Lake City's a little bit bigger town. You go to Falmouth and it's pretty small. Pretty small. But it's a great town. I think we had a good time and it was well worth it. All right, we got Inga with us. Justin's with us. Sean Wise. Dion the Stumpelmeister's with us. Right on. I'm going to be seeing about all of you this weekend. I don't know if Inga's coming. Inga said she was not able to navigate big crowds like that, but I hope he can make it. I know Justin's coming. I know Dion's coming. All right. And Johnny Spears. I know John Spears is coming too. Right on. Right on. All right. So we Tribe Weekend is coming up this weekend. Tribe gathering. And for those of you that don't know, this is going to be our second tribe meeting. Okay, Inga's not coming. Well, that's too bad. Too bad. It'd be nice to see you. Our first tribe was last year, and might as well just give you a little background on how this happened. I think it was Amy Stumpo that brought it up, honestly. They were here. We were eating. It was a foggy day in February. That's what I was told. I don't actually remember that, but I know we were here. We were in the house and we were eating, which we usually do. And because if it was in the summertime, we would have been at the campfire because it's way more fun. But anyway, Amy had an idea, like, hey, wouldn't it be neat to have like a farm camp? And as we kind of ran through it, the idea that she had was sort of like a church camp. I got some heavy duty light in my face here. Let me fix that. I'm going to be distracted. Hold on. I don't have my official uniform on tonight. Anyway, from there, a little bit of planning got done. And there, that's better. I felt like I'm in full sun. And last year, it was kind of impromptu, really. It really just... I didn't get real involved. They said that they needed a pig, and before I knew it, hey, we got 50 people coming to the farm. And so we had to get the lawn mowed and get some things cleaned up and things like that. Turns out there was 85 people. And it turned out really good. I had a fun time. I didn't have any duties or responsibilities, really. I mean, I cooked the pig, and then I kind of hung around. But I had a really good time. And so we said, hey, we got to do that again. That was fun. So things have changed since last year. We have the campground put together. We have kind of a system, kind of a plan. We have places that are kind of cleaned out to where there can be classes going on. And we've had several people step forward and said that they would like to teach a class. So that's what this is about. It's about sharing the things that we've learned. I've told you guys before about the Small Farms Conference. It used to be my favorite thing to do because we came here and we did not have any friends here. We had a little bit of family, but we didn't see them much, as it turned out. We thought we would, but they were kind of on a different track than we were. And it wound up being that the only friends that we had farm related were the people that we would see at the Small Farms Conference. And the Small Farms Conference was really, you could call it homesteaders. That's kind of where it wound up. Um, an industrial farm, and then you scale it down. It's still not a model that we really want anything to do with because you don't have the numbers and it's not profitable. It seems as though the extension service from the university, they actually push people into that model. And you can't really function there because if you're selling all your stuff, alongside of the huge growers, the Tysons and all of those guys, you're going to get murdered. I mean, because you can't buy feed at the rates that they can buy it, and you can't afford really to lose money on your product and then claim subsidy status to the U.S. government. We can't do that. So a better model is the homestead model. Actually, it's a whole lot better. And when the Small Farms Conference started out, that's kind of what it was. It really, it was searching out the niche markets and doing business amongst other homesteaders, and it's kind of a way of life type thing. And so that's where but the Small Farms Conference was taken over by the Extension Service, and I don't even know anybody that goes to it anymore. The last time we went to it, it was pretty much run by the instructors from the university. So, I mean, they weren't people that actually did the thing, do the thing and you will have the power. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that if you do the thing, you will have the power. So the people that come here and teach you what they know, they have actually done it and they've got the pictures to prove it. So they have the power to teach it. And that's the idea, really. That's what we want to promote. That's after you're doing this for a while, you don't say, well, this is what we want to do. You just say, well, this is what's working. This is what people will come to. If you, I don't know, if you just spout off a bunch of theory about something that you know how to do, or you think you know how to do, or one of these days you're going to learn how to do it. If you do that, people get it, and that's not what they want. They want the real thing. And our society's like that these days. There's a lot of make believe going on. I saw a meme. It's kind of mean, but I think it's true. We live in a country where you can't dress up like a kid can't dress up like an Indian and make believe he's an Indian, but a grown man can put on a dress and make believe that he's a woman, and you're expected to go along with it. Well, I'm not going along with it. And if my kid wants to dress up like an Indian, he can. And no one's going to stop him, around here if they want to play cowboys and Indians or, whatever. So anyway, this Tribe Day represents a level of truth in people's lives, because I have seen where people that I know will post pictures of something that they've produced, and you might not think, whoa, that's a lot, but if you might not think it's very much, but if you, having gone through what we've gone through in order to produce the things that we produce, we realize, hey, there's a lot of learning that goes on along the way. So if you show a picture of a gallon of milk, uh, there's been some learning that's gone on, and I just know that. So when I see people posting pictures on the tribe of the things that they're doing, it's actually it's moving to me because I know how I felt when I was there. I remember one time we had taken a pig. Let's see, how did we do that? We took pigs in to be processed, and we got the meat back, and then we were gonna smoke the hams. I mean the bacons. And I remember walking out of the smoker that we built. I had taken this side of bacon out of there, and I was walking towards the house with it in my hands. And Jill took a picture of me, and I remember if I could ever find that picture, it was a real picture, you know, the kind with film. This is a long time ago, and I remember the look on my face, and it lined up with the way that I felt at the time. I felt really pretty special about what we had just done, you know, and that is truth, and that is an exercise in truth. And once you have that exercise completed and you get that trophy, then you go to the next one and the next one and the next one. You know what? You want to hang around with people like that, and you want to hang around with people who've done way more. And there's never a, well, you know, he's you know, there's none of, you just want to learn. You just want to learn from it. And there's a fellowship there that I've only ever seen at church camps before. That's the only place I've ever seen that. You know, it's like, you know, I win sword drills all the time, or, you know, there's never any competition. Like, you just want to be around people who are what you're into, and you want to learn from them, and you want to uh, emulate those people. Some of the best men that I have ever known, uh, I met them at church camps, actually. You know, and they were counselors there or pastors there. You know, I hope Andy's listening. Andy Wigston. I hope so. I'm some really the best men that I've ever known in my life, and what very well rounded and very truthful, and just letting her all hang out there. You know, and I guess I was involved in things at the time that I kept trying to believe that if this is good, what we do is good. You know, all these bombs and guns and all that, that's good because we're, you know, without that, there would be no freedom. Without that, there would be no truth, you know, and I don't, I probably shouldn't go there, but I never really felt it, you know. But you post a picture of a bowl of greens and a half dozen eggs and a half a gallon of milk. That's reality right there. And if you were the one that made the decisions and made the steps to do that, and that's what you got, that's a beautiful thing. That is really a beautiful thing. And I can see why people get so geeked about this. And I I know why I want to be around them. I go to gatherings sometimes that I'm there because Jill is my wife, and that's why I'm there. And nobody says anything to me, or even looks at me, or knows who I am. Or and when I can see the woods over there, that looks real inviting to me, you know, or a lake or something that I could just go dive in and swim way out. That looks real good to me. But when I'm with the homesteading people and the farm people, there's just a it's where I want to be. I mean, this is definitely where I want to be right now. Wasn't going to go into this, but maybe I will. The title of this is "And We Mature," right? Dot dot dot. And you know that there's some pretty. I'm gonna make an announcement tonight. A really cool announcement. I think everybody knows what it is, but let's see, how do I put this? Okay, so the other day I got a list of things to do right before the tribe weekend, and it's a pretty intense list. Some of it absolutely has to be done, and some of it it's like I'd really like to get it done, and I can justify it because we want to inspire, you know, and all that stuff. That's our motto of what we're doing. Equip, motivate, and inspire. And so I want things to be so that when people come and they see it and they see, oh, I see how that process works, even though it might be a very simple process, then they're like, oh, okay, I get it. So I want things done. And so I'm over there and I'm mowing lawn at the campground. And I'm thinking, okay, we're going to have a lot more campers than we normally would. And we can put them here and here. And I'm thinking how it will be for them to walk over to the farm, right? And my mind starts going. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, probably one of the best times of the day. I, I shouldn't say that. It's really nice at sunset, sunrise. It's actually really nice here all the time, except maybe about 1 in the afternoon when it's really hot. And then it's not so good. It's better in the pool. But during this time, as I was out there on my lawnmower, which I really like mowing the lawn, I get time to think. I have headphones on. I'm listening to some Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I'm thinking back to my youth. I'm thinking back to the party days when you'd go to these places where they'd have bands. And I mean, those were the party days, really. And they really have it set up nice. Very inspirational. Very inspirational. But it didn't always lead good places, you know? And I did that a few times, but I didn't make a habit of it. I had a couple of fun times doing that, but then I could see that this is not really. I think a lot of people go through that, and then we wound up later going to church camps and things like that, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about the expectations people have when they come to a camp like that. And I remember the expectations that I had, and there'd be, there'd be music coming out of the old sanctuary there, and then they'd have some guy that would motivate you to be who you're supposed to be, and it's just fun, it was just fun, and I thought that's kind of what we have going here, and okay, here's the way my thinking goes. When I am looking at the facilities that we've got, in addition to what we had last year, hey, we fortified the position. We've made it better, haven't we? We had one camper last year, one camper, a pull behind camper or a fifth wheel camper. This year, I think there's 10 already lined up, right? Last year, we had a bunch of people in tents. Not sure how many we have this year, but I will see, but I know there's going to be more than last year. And I can't help but thinking, well, what if we're going to make an improvement for the following year, what would it be? And there's this little guy on one side of me that pops up and says, hey, you could have a really nice pavilion over there and nice parking lot in here. Get a well put down over here, and gee, you might as well put a nice building in here. And on it goes. And then you just lose track of everything, and you say, oh, wouldn't it be nice to have a pond over here where people could actually swim, and I can see a lifeguard tower there. I love towers, with the what's that thing? The life preserver, and I could just see it. It says SS Minnow on it, maybe, or something. I can just see all these things, and I can feel the magic that goes with it. I can feel it, right? And like this weekend, there's going to be there's going to be seasons for everything. There's going to be a time to eat, a time to sit around the campfire and tell stories, a time to sit in a class and listen on how to do something. And I think people are going to do that. I didn't do it last year, and I don't remember exactly why I didn't. I think I was just in between things too much, and there was things going on. I was the safety guy, probably drinking coffee. I don't know exactly what I was doing. I know I was having fun. But people are coming for this fellowship. I think that's the main thing. That's the main. I don't know if it's the main thing, but it sure is special, because it makes you feel inspired. So anyway, I start seeing all this facility going in, and I start seeing, a bigger picture. And then this other guy pops up on my shoulder and says, "You out of your mind? Just mow the lawn over here and leave it. Just don't. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do any of that. Don't. Just hold back." And then they start getting in an argument. This guy and this guy get in an argument. Say, "Well, you better just cancel it then, because you can't not make improvements for next year." And on the argument goes, right, about keeping things simple and cash flowing and all that stuff, all the things that I know about. But so then I got together with Joe today, and we had kind of a conversation about things like this. And I said, isn't it nice that maybe you can take this over, and I will still continue to mow the lawn. You can even pay me, and I'll mow the lawn. And if there is like major headaches that come with this, like maybe you can do that, because I've already been through the headaches of all the stuff that I did when I was in the Air Force and all that stuff. And some of the early years around this place were definitely stressful. Definitely. I got gray hair here, but maybe that's because I got older. Probably wouldn't have gray hair by now. I'm only halfway. Not even halfway. Ooh, I got some info on that. But anyway, that was a conversation that I had with myself over there while I was mowing the lawn. I don't want you to think I'm going crazy because I talk to myself or that I hear voices. I do hear voices, but they are all consistent with the mission. So I used to work for a captain that was really a really neat guy. I worked with him. I didn't work for him, I guess. And he would make these statements, right? And he was one of these guys that would actually turn keys to launch nuclear weapons. So they climb into those guys' heads and find out if they're normal, and this guy would make statements, and then he would get such a chuckle out of it. And he said, "Voices? Of course I hear voices." And then and people would kind of look at him, and then he'd say, "But they are all consistent with the nuclear mission." And he thought that was so funny. Yeah, I guess it was funny. Anyway, I hear voices, but they are all consistent with the mission that we have here. Anyway, my topic for tonight was, "And we mature," right? And we mature. So I can easily weave this in to the announcement tonight that I kind of announced it last week. We are opening up a new facet of the Anyone Can Farm experience, and that new facet is membership into it. And you would be required to pay a monthly dues, and that is going to be used for the mission. We're going to keep the mission going. So dollars have to be generated in order to keep the videos coming, expand the video library so that people can, well, I don't know how to fence. Okay, buy this video and it'll give you some pointers and get you started on it. We definitely have a plan here, but we have to finance it. As it is right now, a lot of what we've done, I've felt as though it's the right thing to do. Yeah, the dollars weren't there, but I'm going to do the right. I've done a lot of things that were the right thing to do that there was no dollars there, and it pays off. It one way or another, things even out in life, and just the fact that I got to do today what I got to do, and I've been given this perspective. I don't know where it comes from exactly. It's kind of new, but this perspective about the things that I do here on a daily basis, it's like, well, this is my job. I I'm making a living doing this. We can't very well have a farm here where we like to show people how to do things, and it's like, well, I don't actually raise pigs. I don't actually do that. I do know people, don't know them personally, but they actually they're real high up there in the Mangalitsa world, and they have the control of the Mangalitsa registry. They don't actually raise pigs. It's kind of funny, actually. So they don't do the thing, but they claim to know everything there is to know about shrimping. Apparently, so anyway, I don't. I got no complaints. Not a single one. Not a single one. Actually, I'm a very lucky, blessed person, and I think that our overall message, our overall way of life is about truth. If I was running an industrial ag outfit, let's say, and I go around and people think I'm a farmer and I make money off of the milk that I sell and all that stuff. Well, the little secret is actually that's not actually where the money comes from. Actually, the money comes from, we're not doing well and we're not. And so there's subsidies that I get from the federal government. That's where the stream comes from. And that's the reality of industrial agriculture these days. And that's not the reality with us. And I'm kind of glad. I mean, for a while there was like, hey, how come we don't get the same benefits as those guys? Well, we needed to stay on the straight and level, and we had to be true to ourselves in what we were doing. We had to truly realize the benefit of what we were doing. But if we played that game, we wouldn't actually know what farming is. Around here, you'll hear some of the younger guys say, well, yeah, I'm farming the government. Farming the government is what they call it. So we don't really want to do that. We want to be honest about what we're doing and truthful about what we're doing. So and my title is As We Mature. As we mature. So the the membership is a way that we can go to the next level with the people that want to go with us. So we are 100%, we want to be 100% transparent in the way that this business works. And I have been very truthful about what I think where I think the best gain in this homesteading is. Now, homesteading is, yeah, we raise animals, we, process the animals, we make things out of that processed animal, and then we sell those products to get some money. We eat a lot of those products to keep our families going, and so on and so forth. But another facet of it is and where Baker's Green Acres has kind of stepped up to the plate, I guess. It's not like I got out of the Air Force and said, you know what? I want to run a college I didn't. That was never the thing that was on my mind. It wasn't. Actually, what was on my mind is I want to do something where nobody can tell me what to do all day long and leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't want the phone to ring. I don't want anybody coming and saying, Sergeant Baker, I don't want that. I want to be left alone. I don't want to have to keep a bag packed. I don't want to have to keep my hair cut. I don't want to have to wear what they say I got to wear. I don't want to shine my shoes anymore. That's what I wanted then. That's what I wanted then until I got what I wanted. And then it was like, well, this isn't really all that good. What do you really want? Meaning. I want meaning in life. I want to do what I do want to do what I'm told, you know. I am actually looking for that. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Is that so radical? You know, we're all going to die one of these days, and we're going to meet the one who made us. And I would just as soon he say, did what I asked you to do. Thank you very much. I would just assume I like that. You know, I don't want to say, well, you know, you did it sometimes. I mean, anyway. That's what I'm looking for. Well done, my good and faithful servant. That's what I'm looking for. So that's why we're doing this. So the membership is an effort to take the power away from YouTube. Like they can suppress our views, they can suppress our subs, all that stuff. And if we don't have 10,000, then you can't even super chat us, right? So there's no way that we can continue this ministry. If this was a church camp, we would pass those little baskets around because there's no way we can keep the lights on at the church camp unless, you know, and continue that mission unless, you know, people contribute to it. You want to go there, you got to contribute. So like this weekend, yeah, it costs to come and get this education, but who's going to pay for the porta potties? Who's going to pay for the pig? Who's going to pay for the napkins and the plates? And, you know, we got to give the speakers some money too. So what I see, you know, what both these guys on my shoulders saw is a vision of the way it ought to be, the way it ought to be, the way it could be. And I know, Amy Stumpo, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know you do, or you wouldn't have brought it up. And so we all see this, and either we talk about it or we don't. And I guess from my perspective, we do not want a centralized. We don't want anything centralized. We want a bunch of people doing the thing, and then they will have the power. And if they have the power, they can pass the power on. The power is with the people. There's another person that made the list. I got to have a list here of all the people that are part of the tribe. This is James Thornburg. He's another one. They've broken ground on their butcher shop. Actually, they didn't break ground on it. They've got a room in their barn that they're making into a butcher shop. So I don't know what the number is, but I think that's 9 people. I probably should get them all scribbled down one of these times and get them behind me. A lot of stuff that I'm going to do, but I am trying to run this place too. Excuses. So down in the description, Jill will have a link that you can go to, or you can go to the Anyone Can Farm Experience website, and you can join up. Membership. We're calling it Tribe Plus, right? Is that what we're calling it? That doesn't sound right. Anyone Can Farm Tribe Plus. Yeah. So you can be just a member of the congregation pretty easy, but if you want to be a plus member, now what type of information are we going to pass on? We're going to pass on everything if you are a plus member. So there's definitely benefits to it to you, but you know, you're making a financial donation per month. It's not much. But if we get a lot of people, like 1 million people to do it, then yeah, we're going to have some facilities next door, like you read about, and full-time employees probably. And I see this as a viable option for any farm that wants to get involved. Actually, really, if you if you take the necessary steps, and well, is that you could say, well, you think that's going to happen? I said, I would say, how many people have taken my advice and built butcher shops? You get 9, 10. How many of them have hosted classes at their farms? I asked them to do it. How many of them? Uh, let's see. Kelly's, the clerics. Who else out there? Justin. It wasn't a formal class, but you got people to come and help you. Stumpos did it, right? But we want to share a little bit more information about that and how that works. Yeah, Tribe Plus. That's right. Thank you, Joe. All right, so we're all in this together, and we're either moving forward or we're not. And honestly, I got a feeling about this. Usually I want something and then okay, we're going to make this happen. There's part of me that's like, oh, wait a minute. This is going to cut into my lawn mowing time and, slack time. I like my slack time. But there's things about me that only I know. And I think this is probably the thing that needs to happen. All right, so it is happening. The Tribe Plus is happening. So if we get one person that signs up, okay, we're closer to it than we were. Right? We're closer to it than we were. And I want to be able to do a Zoom meeting with all the Plus members and say, okay, let's go over this. It's just this one aspect. And once you have that, it's like I was saying before, you've got that half a gallon of milk, you've got that bowl of greens and a half a dozen of eggs. That's your trophy for what you wanted to do. I want to grow my own food. Hey, I'm growing food. I'm doing this. Good on you. Damn good on you. You're a very small percentage of people that have said, I want to do this, and then executed it. My grandmother wants to fly jets, but get out there and fly some jets and see what that's like, I stole that line. Who knows what movie I stole that line from? Can anybody? Okay. I did see that movie a long time ago. Terrible movie. But anyway, it was Lou Gossett Jr. in Officer and a Gentleman. And Zach Mayo says, I want to fly jets. And he says, my grandmother wants to fly jets. Yeah, it's true. You can want anything you want, but that doesn't mean you're going to do it. But executing it, although it might seem simple, a half gallon of milk, half dozen eggs, and some greens, there's a lot involved there, right? So when we're in this as deep as Jill and I are right now, there's a lot of balls in the air all the time. And when we're able to motivate people and say, hey, we'd love it if the Department of Agriculture and the Extension Service were getting people motivated to grow food. We would love that, but they're not. So let's us do it. And I get a bunch of people saying, I'll help. Okay, so that's what Plus is. That's what Plus is. We're going to go to the next level. Can I tell you right now everything that we're going to encounter? No, because I haven't been there myself, actually. But as I break trail, I will pass it on to you. I think I know a lot of things that are involved in this, but it's sort of like, you get asked to do something, you don't get the map the day you say you'll do it. You get that just before you leave to go do it. Oh, you get your lunch money the day that you leave. You don't necessarily get it when you say you'll do it, because saying you'll do it is one thing, but when you're standing there waiting for the bus, hey, it looks like he's going to get on. I better give him his lunch money. Boom. That's how it works with us. When we're asked to do something, sure, I'll do it, but then you don't do it, because I've done that. I know, I speak from experience. Oh yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I'll do that, but I don't, follow through with it sometimes. But this thing that we're doing now, I followed through with it. I do the show every night, or 4 nights a week now, and I feel it's the right thing to do. So anyway, we're moving ahead on this, and this is the maturation process. I don't. Let's see. Have I ever seen this? Yes, I have. I have one time that I know of, and I don't know if they're going to stay with it, but it was a family that came and spent time with us, and then completely changed their way of life to build a homestead, got it going, and then twist and turn, things happen, and then they sold it, and they just wanted to be living in a I don't know, just a house and have no farm. But when I did talk to her about a month ago, and she was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. We don't have anything to do, and you go out to find things to do outside the house, and you're surrounded by zombies. Nobody has any purpose. Nobody knows what they are supposed to be doing. They just know that gas costs too much. So it's very unlikely that people that get into this and that have spent time in this homesteading mindset are gonna at some point say, you know what, the hell with this. Let's move to Indianapolis. That sounds like fun. Probably not going to happen, right? So I think we're going to provide a service that is needed. So let's move ahead with that. And if you guys help me out with that, this is an effort to fortify the position that we've taken, and please help us out with this membership. I just really would appreciate it. Okay. So now I want to talk a little bit more, a little deeper, or maybe more localized to the farms that we have, or the farms that we're building, the homesteads that we're putting in place. Because I was thinking back to my earlier days of when Jill and I first. I don't believe we did this, but we bought this place in Montana. It had a creek going through it. We didn't know anybody in that community, and it had a double wide on it that they had doctored to make it look like it wasn't a double wide. It was sitting on, had like a mock foundation around it, and it had a nice roof on it and stuff, but it's still a double wide. But it had 13 acres, and it had a silo or a grain bin and a barn, and it was a farm looking place. But the creek really got us, and we wanted to live out of town. And so things just worked out really well, and we were able to buy it. It was in our price range, and we got it. And I was thinking, what happened after that? I told you guys I was more thrilled about being able to shoot a 22 there. I'd never lived someplace where I could actually shoot a 22. I didn't have to drive someplace to go to somebody else's property, like a sand pit or something like that, to shoot a 22. I could shoot at my own place. Like, wow, this is great. And then pheasant hunting came, and we actually shot pheasants and ate them, and I didn't have to go on somebody else's land. And then I think I brought chickens home one time. And then I brought some wiener pigs home, and it just kept progressing from there. We met people in the community that had ranches and farms, and we would go to their house, and they would have, a barn full of feeder calves, a barn full of goats, barn full of, all kinds of stuff. So we watched what they did, asked questions, and then we did it. And then we had a nice garden, and we started to figure out, hey, we can feed ourselves. We can do all this stuff. And then I bought the book. No, I borrowed the book, Back to Basics. It's a Reader's Digest book, and I went through the whole thing. And then my job changed, and I was working out on a missile site, and so it was boring. And I just started reading a lot of books on homesteading and farming and all that stuff. I really got into it, and when I would come home, I would do these things, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. I lived for it. So I was thinking back on that and thinking I could not read what was going on my little piece of property. I had no idea. I couldn't feel it. I wasn't tuned into it. Where now, the other night, just an example, there was a certain pitch of bark going on, and it was one of the puppies. It was Louie, and it was a certain pitch, and I was able to deduce very quickly that, oh, a calf is out. How did I know that? Well, I know that because the older dogs, they're used to a calf being out, and they're not going to bark at it. They don't care. But the younger dogs, this was the first time that they saw a calf out, and it was dark. So from the tone of that pitch, the tone of that bark, I knew something was wrong. I knew it was something that was bothering the young dogs and not the older dogs. And so I quickly deduced that a calf is out. And I even went further than that. I knew which calf was out because I had set the temporary fence up, and I knew that there was a spot that was kind of high. And the smallest calf that we have, he could fit under there. And I thought, no, I'll come back and I'll adjust that down. I never made it back. And so when I knew something was wrong, I just, like all the synapses fire off in my head. And I'm like, okay, I know it's wrong. And I even thought there for a second. And I thought, doesn't matter. I mean, he just lives to eat grass. So there's plenty of grass. And I thought, he might enjoy the corn that's just coming up. So no. So I went and got a flashlight, went out. Sure enough, there he was. You learn to I don't know if it's reading, because I don't want to make it sound like it's a one-way deal. Like I'm the intellectual one here and I can read the minds of all these animals, and it's not. I think I'm an equal player here. I think we all have roles here. I have a role, but the raspberry bushes, they have a role. They're definitely alive. Can they communicate to me? I can communicate to them. I think they can communicate to me, but not unless I am saying something. I'm questioning them, or speak to me. What's going on with you? Look at them in a way that I kind of need to know what's going on with you. What will work here? And a lot of times we don't communicate. It's just like when you talk to, a person that doesn't speak the same language as you. You have to do some other things. You might have to, it's like like this, and like like yeah. You might have to communicate a different way. So I did have some problems actually with the raspberry bushes, and I was kind of like, why are these things not growing this year? I mean, you may remember the saga. I burned them. I lit them off. It was in the spring. I burned them off, and they were all just withered, just sticks. It hadn't started yet, and I burned them off, and there was a water line in there that I also burned, and had to replace that. And when I did that, it was just after I had gone to the clerics for their, um, their organic gardening uh, seminar or day trip or workshop, which was very good. And when I came home, I rebuilt the whole thing, right? But then the raspberry bushes didn't come back. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So how do I communicate with them? I tell you what, I can do this for you. So I weeded about 4 feet of it. I pulled every bit of quackgrass out, and I got as much of the roots out as I could. And that section of it responded. And I was like, okay, I know what's wrong with you guys. I know, I got it. I got you. And so we've been systematically weeding the whole thing out. Let them get the upper hand. The quackgrass will get beat down a little bit, and we'll have good raspberries. So they can communicate with it. It's just not going to be the way you think. The cows communicate with you. The pigs communicate. Oh yeah, all the animals communicate, and we're here. And if we will open ourselves up to it, we can read what's going on here. And I think it goes a lot deeper than we know. And you guys know I'm a conspiracy theorist, and that that I believe that a lot of things that we've been taught as small children have been completely untrue. And I think there's a lot of information that just wasn't ever out there. And so you can kind of think, gee, I wonder if plants can talk to human beings. It's like, I don't know. I never heard that before. You'd think you would have, 5th grade, 6th grade, somewhere along the lines. You'd think somebody would have said something about that. It'd be in a book someplace. It'd be on the internet, I'm sure. But look at all the stuff that isn't in books, isn't on the internet. There's a lot of consistency that when you look at it and use your senses, you can say, well, that doesn't even sound true. And then you say, does that sound true to you? No, it doesn't sound true to me. It sounds like BS to me. But yet, story after story after story about things. Like, wow, that seems really untrue. Like I saw this story. This was a really good story. Actually on 9/11, there was an F-16 pilot, good-looking female, that launched an airplane by herself, a single airplane, not two. She didn't have a wing man or a wing woman. But you know what? There was no weapons on the airplane. But she took it off anyway because she was just so, yeah, she almost saved the day. She was going to ram that. The only thing is she supposedly got off the ground like an hour and 45 minutes after the things had run into the buildings. So when I read that story, it's like, that doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right. And I ran it past a couple people, and they said that would never happen. Absolutely never happen. And I knew it wouldn't anyway. Because, the status of the aircraft is quite critical to, whether it leaves the ground. And if it doesn't have ammo on it, it doesn't leave the ground. It doesn't have, it's got to have weapons on the wingtips and stuff, and it just didn't. So, I mean, it was useless. But there's all kinds of stuff like that, stories like that. And we've heard stories like that for over and over and over, a lot of stuff like that. So when it comes to our farms and our homesteads, I think we have to be like, well, I probably only know a certain percentage of what there is to know around here. So I should be open to maybe these rocks would like to speak to me today. Could happen. Oh, rocks can't speak. You're as dumb as a box of rocks. That's what a training instructor said to me first day of basic training. You look smart, but you're as dumb as a box of rocks, is what he said to me. Crushed my little spirit. But see, he's communicating that a box of rocks is dumb. maybe a box of rocks isn't as dumb as he's saying. I don't know. Another conspiracy theory, but it's something to think about. But I think being in tune with our the creation that we're stewarding, I think there's a lot more communication that can go on, but it really needs to be up to us. I don't think the raspberry bushes, went to first grade, and the first thing they saw first day of first grade was a globe. I don't think they saw that. I did. I remember it. Wow, look at that. That's the world? You bet. You darn right it is. Here we are right here, Spring Street School. Oh, wow. You know, they don't learn that stuff. The animals don't learn that stuff. The animals know what they know, I guess, instinctively. Do we know things instinctively? There's a lot of things that I want that I didn't read on the internet that I wanted it. I knew I wanted it the first time I saw it. I want that. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of intuitive things out there that we need to be open to. We are stewards of these creations that we are in charge of, and I think we can expand our our communication skills if we want to. I know I have. I have, but I've been around it long enough. I will go out the back door in the morning and like something's not right. And sure enough, start looking around and oh, somebody left a hose on over here. That must be it. And as soon as I shut the hose off, it's like, oh, I guess that's it. Because I don't think anything else is going on. And then a lot of it isn't my special spidey senses. A lot of it is, like I said, if that dog's barking, that dog usually barks if this is going on, or things like that. Let's see. Oh, if I see the calves down there, then the chances are pretty good that the cows are up here because the calves go down further because they've got the energy. Or let's see. I can't. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's a lot of things like that. Like when you see this, it usually means that this is going on. And the electric fence for the pigs. I have to be on top of that. But if I see from where I'm eating breakfast, I see a line of rear ends facing me. They're all digging at the root of the fence, and something's up out there, So I'll go and check it, and sure enough. So and certain squeals, certain behavior, certain behavior from the dogs too really sets off what is going on. I tell you this one, when they come back and they smell really bad, I've learned over the years that they've probably been near a skunk and the skunk sprayed them. They come back and they have these little things sticking out of their face, little porcupine quills. I deduce that they've been in a confrontation with a porcupine. They bring back a possum and they drop it on the ground, and I know that they've found them a possum. So things like that. Yeah, you learn after a while. All right, so let's see what we got here. Oh, Nicole, I hope you're coming. Nicole, are you coming to Tribe Day? Haven's coming. David Wallman. Time, wealth, and health are the three traditional indicators of providence. God seeds the dream, and his providence guides its growth. Time, wealth, and health. Huh. So I don't have to think about this anymore, do I? Honestly. I don't. Because I had nothing to do with the time, nothing to do with the health. And I could, all right. It takes a lot of the burden off of me, if you want to call it burden. I don't know. I don't see it as a burden really. But oh no, that's too bad. That's too bad. I still have that nice note you sent us around here. I come across it every now and then in my stack of stuff. All right, Dave Smith. All right, no questions. You guys just came to hear me yak. But that's the big announcement for tonight is the announcement of the membership. And that's going to keep Joe on our staff. That's going to expand this operation, and it's going to fortify the position that we're in. And I guess if we weren't going to continue it, then we wouldn't have done it. But we are going to continue it. So what else is there? We ain't going nowhere. All right, that's what I got. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I feel as though I want to do the best job that I can. I know I'm going to get a lot of help. I've kind of changed the way I do things. Like back, Nicole, when you came, I would have a list of things to do, and I didn't want anybody showing up here until it was all done. And then people would come an hour early, you know. I think the clerics did that, right? They came an hour early. Even back then, I was still wrapped pretty tight. It's like in the middle of something here. But now I have this list. I have two lists. I have the list of stuff that I have to do, that me needs to do, because I know how that stuff works, and I want to do it myself. And then I have another list, and this is the list for people that show up early. So you want to come early? Come the day before. You want to come on Friday? Oh yeah. Hey Mark, can I help with anything? You got your work gloves with you? Right? And I can justify it too, because we want to inspire the people that are coming. So you may think I'm just having you do my light work. No. You're going to be helping to inspire these people that come in here. And when they get inspired, they're gonna say, "Ooh, where can I? Where I live down by Ludington. Is there a farm down there that does this type of thing that I could like maybe take a class with or go and help them and stuff?" Say, well, let me look through my Rolodex here. You guys don't know what Rolodexes are, right? Yes, there is right here. So I think all boats will float higher if we work this correctly, right? Um, I think that it's very important that people, if they like I've passed on a lot of information via video, a lot of information with videos. I've passed on a lot of information by in-person classes. I've passed on a lot of information through this channel. How else? Consulting. People call me up. Hey, can you come out and consult? Yeah, sure, I can. You got to pay me, but yeah, I'll do it. And we've passed on a lot of information, given people really good plans that they have executed and really gotten going in a good direction. If nothing else, we'd say, "Ooh, don't do that. Don't see that thing. Don't step on that. It'll go boom. Don't step on that. No. Don't do that." So what am I recommending to the tribe here? Well, at least those four things you can do. At least those four things. And if you have something else that you can do to train the people in your biosphere, I don't know, neck of the woods, whatever. Or, I'm from a certain age group and a certain flavor, and some people feel comfortable with me, but some people might not, and they might feel more comfortable with like a Beth the Cleric. Hey, so she needs to, and she has, and she's gotten a great response. She even got asked to do a video conference with some homesteaders group, a video, which sounded pretty neat to me. I was almost kind of like, hey, how come they didn't ask me? But I don't really care about that. It doesn't really matter. You're just, I probably wouldn't find it right off the bat unless I look for Beth the Cleric or Decleric Homestead. DEC. Okay, I got it. Oh, well, it's not here. Huh. We're going to be doing a homestead hog harvest down at the Clerics this year. And I bet you it's going to be a hoot. That is going to be a hoot. All right. Let's call it a day. Let's call it a day. We'll not be here tomorrow. We will be here Thursday, but then Friday we will not. But I'm thinking about this. If I can get somebody to do some live interviews, I think that would really be fun for those of you that can't come. So we will be having campfire on Friday night, and it's just kind of a just very loose, just people who come early, and that would be fun. So we'll try that. But until then, until Thursday night, I will see you guys later. Remember, anyone can farm. And please give everything that I've spoke about a thought tonight, a little bit of added thought, and help out with this membership drive, please. Thank you.